All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and there's a little bit of drama going on. Bungie dev, community manager, BMG, responding to some stuff on the Bird app. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We have Mercules, who's a prominent community figure. I believe he's part of the Firing Range podcast. He does a lot of cool stuff with PvP, time to kill, weaponry, and stuff like that. Very cool dude. He tweets out saying something a bit spicy, a bit controversial. Players who have been flawless, who have never been flawless, this weekend. This is a great change. I can't wait to go flawless. And then after going flawless, presumably this weekend, that was fun. Let's do it again. Loading into the flawless matchmaking pool, which is the recent changes now, where if you go flawless, you're only going to match other people that went flawless this weekend, essentially allowing those that have never been flawless to get their first ever flawless this weekend. So it's meant to be designed for the lower half, or I guess technically it was last weekend, it was 25% of the player base went flawless. So the lower 75% to get their first flawless, and saying that their replayability experience is going to be insane. Like it's going to be like a house caught on fire. It's going to be nuts. Someone responds to this saying, LOL at the mental gymnastry of suggesting this is a bad change for people who never go flawless because it'll be harder to go flawless many times on a single weekend. Reckon we'll cross that bridge when we see it, which is a great point to make, which is that if people are out there trying to get their first ever flawless, they probably aren't going to care too much about the ability to get their second, third, fourth, fifth flawless in one weekend, right? They're just trying to get one, their first ever, and this weekend would easily be the best weekend. So if you're trying to go flawless, make sure you give it a try this weekend. Last weekend, there was like 105,000 people that got their first ever flawless. And then Mercury's response to this right here saying, there's no stretch here. It kills replayability in the playlist once you get flawless. If the only goal of the change is to get bad players flawless once per week, then they should openly say that. But trying to pass it off as reducing the amount of 5-0s at 7 wins is BS, which, to be fair, this weekend of Trials had the most replayability. It had the most players playing the most number of matches ever in Trials history. That was the #1 record that it broke. It didn't break overall player base. There had been over 1 million people in the past, and last weekend there was like 750,000. So there had been a lot more people playing in the past, but it had the most replayability. And this change would very much kill the replayability for people who get flawless on Friday and then want to play all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Streamers, content creators, people doing carries, whatever it may be, right? People who just like to play, there's people that just like to play Trials a lot and help friends and help people on LFG, etc. The replayability would absolutely be killed. So there would probably be significantly less matches played this weekend. So he does have a pretty fair point. But he is saying that Bungie calling out reducing the amount of 5-0s at 7 wins is bullshit. To which DMG, the community manager, actually tweets replying to this, which is a pretty bold response right here. He says, we're not in this to lie to our community. We're providing transparency through our goals. If you don't agree, that's fine. Please don't call it BS and spin it as a lie. If the changes go over poorly in feedback and data, we can make changes as necessary. Also, not super keen on replayability hinging on good teams consistently matching worse teams. How is that replayability for lower skilled teams? Which is a good point. You know, the lower skilled teams that just constantly lose games obviously aren't going to have as much replayability or as much enjoyment of replayability. And then he says, really blows my mind how people are trying to argue that 5-0ing numerous teams is a healthy experience for all. So I get what Bungie's trying to do in that they're trying to not have as many 5-0s happen at the Lighthouse game. Like I said before, my first tweet on Friday was, it felt really weird to play a Lighthouse game against 3 solo queue blueberries, like 3 people who had no communications, and I'm in a stacked team with some of some of the best players out there. It's like, there's no way we're going to lose that match, right? And so I get where Bungie's trying to come from, where they're trying to reduce that 5-0 thing. I do think that with PvP, if we're talking in terms of happiness, you're going to have the team that wins happy, the team that loses unhappy, right? So no matter what, it's going to be roughly a 50-50 split. Maybe that's where Bungie's trying to settle in, where every weekend in Trials, 50% of the player base makes it flawless and 50% doesn't. I don't know, but if you have to get 7 wins to get there, the math doesn't add up, right? It says 50%, like game 1, 50% of people are happy. Game 2, an even smaller percentage. Game 3, you know what I'm saying? It keeps multiplicatively getting smaller, the amount of people that are happy as you get to the Lighthouse game. So Trials is always going to have a larger player base of salty people that want to get flawless, I think, than those that do get flawless and get flawless easily or regularly, because that's just the nature of PvP. No one wants to lose, especially in a playlist that highly prioritizes winning and the necessity to win in order to get adept loot and stuff like that. So let me know your thoughts though. Obviously people are going to vote for what benefits them. Like streamers, content creators are going to be like, hey, I don't like this matchmaking with the lighthouse, of course. And then the community as a whole, and the 75% of people that didn't make it flawless last weekend, are going to be like, yes, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is how I'm going to get my first flawless. So they're going to be excited for it. Obviously the 75% is going as much larger margin of people, much larger group of people, so their opinion will definitely outweigh the 25% that made it last weekend. So it's a big political battle. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. Smash the like button. See you in the next one. Later.